Hey guys, my name is Modi and you are welcome to Modi Speaks. I came across this on Twitter. So many of you might call it a meme, but I don't see it as one, okay? I simply see it as an eye-opener, a warning, or a statement of facts. It says, the biggest threat to Western civilization is a little bit of Russia, but not really that much. A little more of China, but still not very much. Now, a lot more of Islam. It is a good chunk. But the greatest of the threats is white liberal women with liberal arts degrees. White liberal women. Watch how it didn't say black liberal women or Asian liberal women or just liberal women. Rather, it specifically mentioned white liberal women. And they always go for ridiculous degrees like gender studies or ratio something something. So yeah, you get the drill. The statement said, white liberal women are the greatest threat to Western civilization. I have never seen black women living in the West, traveling down to places like Congo or Afghanistan or Somalia or even India just to cure their depression, just to clear their head and connect with nature, just to refresh their minds and empty their thoughts and feel the air on their faces. It never happens. It is always white liberal women who only carry out such activities, and each time they let their stupidity take over, they always find out the hard way. This reminds me of the heartbreaking case of that liberal white woman. I can't remember her name at the moment, and if I do, finally, I'm gonna put it on the screen for you guys. So she went to India to cure her depression, but she ended up getting raped and beheaded, and she was found hanging upside down in the Indian forests later on. What a waste. These people have no sense of self-preservation. It is almost like they crave self-destruction, okay? That is why you see them advocating for open borders, saying that illegal aliens who forced their way into their country should be treated just like every other law-abiding citizen. That is why they spend their entire life joining enemies of their country to chant death to their own country. It is really sad. It is just a very disheartening thing to witness. Now, this is Zaida Catalan, okay? Zaida Catalan is another liberal white woman who invested her life in the destruction of Western civilization, to the extent that when her attempts to import the third world into her country, Sweden, was met with resistance, she took herself to the third world, and unfortunately, she met her end there. Now, Zaida Catalan was a young Swedish politician. She was a member of the Green Party, an extremely liberal political party in Sweden, and also she was the leader of the Young Greens of Sweden between the year 2001 and 2005. Now, Zaida was a politician who believed in open borders. She enthusiastically supported a world without borders, okay? The Green Party, which she belonged to, is said to be the most pro-immigration party in Sweden. Now, according to the Gateway Pundit, the manifesto of the Green Party endorsed a liberalization of asylum laws, an automatic right to a permanent residence permit if an asylum seeker hasn't been deported within 2 years of residing in Sweden, facilitating family reunification. People born and permanently residing in Sweden should automatically obtain citizenship, better integration, easier access to housing and jobs for new arrivals, and fighting discrimination. And who are the new arrivals, guys? Military-aged men who look like this. Men who look nothing like asylum seekers. You will see no women. You will see no children. Just able-bodied, healthy as can be young men of fighting age who tear up their passports and throw them into the sea on their way to Sweden. So like I was saying, Zaida traveled to the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2017, and in March of that same year, she was kidnapped and subsequently beheaded. Her remains was finally found in a shallow grave in a Congolese village. Now, this was a woman who fought hard to bring over unvetted, unverified, no passport strangers from third worlds into her home country of Sweden, all in the name of compassion and good old empathy. She forgot that borders exist for a reason. There is a reason why you should have to be interviewed before you are handed a visa to any country. But no, Let us have some blind empathy and compassion. But they don't care about effing around, even though they know that they are surely going to find out. Do you know that just in 2016, guys, of the 163,000 of the people who came into Sweden as asylum seekers, only 494 of them got jobs? This is according to reports by Swedish public broadcaster. Out of 163,000 people, not even up to 500 of them went out to look for jobs. What does that tell you about these people, these asylum seekers? It is kind of like the way immigrants from poor countries who are migrating abroad to search for greener pastures under the pretense of education, then when they get into these countries, they never ever report to their schools, even though they were given visas to come and study in these countries. They go into the job market and get jobs and start sending money to their families abroad. Now, the case of the immigrants migrating for greener pastures under the pretense of education is even far, far better than the case of the so-called asylum seekers migrating into these Western countries, then seeking no employment whatsoever, popping out countless kids and being totally dependent on the Western government while slowly replacing the population of the Westerners through uncontrolled breeding. Sweden now has the second highest number of rapes in the entire world, okay? After South Africa, which at 53.2 per 100,000 is 6 times higher than that of United States of America. It is almost like white liberals are ashamed of their advanced living. They hate their countries for being so superior in terms of economic development and technological advancement. That is why they are plagued with this misguided, sense of empathy to the extent of tirelessly working to make their home countries vulnerable to invasion. And mind you, these guys in non-Western countries know how gullible and easily manipulated Western white liberals are. And that is why they manipulate the West and compel the West to take them in, even when they themselves would never do the same if they happen to be in the shoes of the West. Of course, some of you watching this video right now might be calling me names because I had the audacity to say this truth, because I had the audacity to come here and expose this. Some of my African viewers might even be angry with me for saying the words I say right now. But one thing you cannot do is say that I am lying. You will never see a Ghanaian woman, or Ghanaian person for that matter, fighting for open borders in Ghana. You will never find a Nigerian dedicating her life to mass immigration in Nigeria. You will never find a Somalian fighting to welcome Kenyans into their country. Neither will you see a South African person passionately supporting immigrants to invade South Africa. You won't find somebody from Pakistan doing the same. You won't. They won't tolerate mass immigration from Westerners. And in fact, they wouldn't even tolerate that from their own African neighbors or maybe Asian neighbors. Ask Ghanaians what they faced in Nigeria around 1983, when Nigeria's government expelled over 1 million Ghanaians who migrated to Nigeria from around the 1960s. These Ghanaians were forcefully expelled from Nigeria, guys. Okay? They had to pack their belongings in their unique checkered bags, now known as Ghana Must Go. Even Africans know the importance of order, the importance of borders, and the importance of controlled immigration. They themselves wouldn't even welcome invasion from their own African neighbors, talk more of Western personnel. But white liberals in the West, especially white female liberals, seem to be hell-bent on bringing destruction to their own country. And when the destruction wouldn't come, they sometimes go to the destruction. Guys, it is just maddening witnessing this, witnessing what is going on in the West. And I just really want to say that I'm so saddened for you Westerners. My only advice to you is to buckle up and get rid of this misguided empathy you seem to possess. Believe me, there is no way a nation who builds like this would benefit from immigrants who build like this. Yes, it is good to have empathy, but please, do not allow your empathy to be used against you to the point of extinction. I got that from Elon Musk. As always, guys, these are my thoughts, these are my opinions. Please feel free to share yours in the comment section below, but do so respectfully. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, honestly, I don't know what you're waiting for. Subscribe to the channel. Like and share this video to keep people informed, and consider joining my membership or supporting the channel in the way that you can. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to catch you on the next one. For now, peace.